Hello and welcome to the E-commerce Leader Series, the podcast dedicated to helping founders and senior leaders navigate the future of online retail with AI. I'm your host, Bryan Kinghorn, Head of Growth at Luca. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Cyprien Barthez, who is the E-commerce and Marketing Director from Wasted Paris. Cyprien, it's great to have you here with us. Before we dive deep into our topics of conversation today, would you mind giving our listeners a bit of background on you as well as the business?
Yes, absolutely. So first, hello, Bryan. Thank you for welcoming me. So my name is Cyprien. I think I started my career as a music fan. I had a blog when I was a student about electronic music. I felt it was a good traction for new audiences. The year is 2010, so the social networks were very shy at the time. And our blog will reach an audience in Paris because we lived in another city. It also reached an audience in French countries. And we realized that people wanted to see us live. So we started organizing parties everywhere and then, like Paris, Brussels, Italy, etc. And after that, after a few internships in the digital marketing, I got hired in marketing agency. The digital marketing agency is called Ad UX. So at the time it was called High Media. And I was in charge of acquisition for brands such as BMW, Audi, Airbnb. It was more what we called at the time display, RTB, emailing, etc. I became a team lead as well. And when the group was starting to be sold and companies to be restructured, etc., I felt it was a great time for me to move from there. And I started a new job as more a key account manager in affiliation marketing. So it was for Better Collective, a big affiliate group from Denmark. And there I had more like a commercial job, sales. I was a sales basically. And my job was to enhance the contract we already had with big brands such as Bet365, BetClick, etc. And after a few years there, I wanted to start an adventure from scratch. So I started in a startup called BotNation AI, which job was to develop an app for web marketing, web marketers. So a chatbot, basically. It was before we talked about OpenAI, before Anthropic, etc. And my job was to find new clients, to help them to make better chatbots, to make them pay more as well. So with some new features, personalized accounting, etc. And after 5 years, I felt it was a time for me to work in an area that I like more, such as music, fashion, etc. And I'm into running as well on the side. And by this, don't ask me why, but I started working in the skateboard industry through connections. And then I took a new role where I am now. So director of e-commerce and marketing for this brand called Wasted Paris. It's an independent brand that was born in France, which pillars are skateboard, music, indie cinema, and vintage.
Cool. And when did the business start?
So the business started in 2012 through two founders. And they came from a vintage background. They worked in Noir Kennedy. And one was a big skateboarder, and the other was more like an artistic director. And both they created this brand, which was a big thing in the 25 to 20, 2015 to 20. And then COVID happened. So it was like a bit weird for fashion at the time, especially streetwear. And now they're the new beginning since 2022, let's put it that way, where we start growing again and do new things.
And cool. And when did you join the business?
2024.
2024. Okay. And what is it about the sort of digital marketing side that you really enjoy, and what attracted you to that sort of positions within different companies?
I like the fact that you can reach audiences wherever you are in the world. So it's a bit poetic because it's not true in reality, but you can still have consumers all over the world through one website. It's a sales that work 24/7. I think it's a great thing when we have a website that's functional, that works well. You can have sales every time in the day.
Yeah.
And I think it's a beautiful thing for a brand.
Nice. Awesome. And I suppose obviously in streetwear, you've obviously it's important for your side of the business, the e-com, the website to work, all that stuff's very important. But I suppose in streetwear, it all starts with like community and culture. So how do you balance making sure that the brand still shows up in community and culture, whilst also making sure you've got a digital marketing, machine that operates as well? How do you balance the two?
So we have the e-commerce unit that has the plan, the strategy, and that says we should sell this and that at this time. We've got the calendar basically, and then we have the marketing team that's more into bringing the brand to the world and to our communities. And it's always kind of not a fight, but always a discussion, because we want to make a better turnover and they want to have the right message. So we have to balance this. And skateboard is very specific because skateboarders know about marketing. They're very defying. They don't like being targeted, etc. So we have to find a way to be honest, to be true, to be authentic, and show them what we do through this. So we have a team, a skateboard team. We pay them, we sponsor them, we help them to go to competitions, to film their part in videos. We do that for the community, and also we do events. So we have this flagship store in the very center of Paris, where we organize showcases for bands, for instance. We do merch for the bands, where we barely make money through this, but it helps artists to gain a few dollars with it, so it's a good thing for us. And then we attract all those communities through our website and through our shop.
Cool. So you mentioned there about the shop. So are you guys mainly e-commerce, or do you have more than one store? Do you have like retailers that you sell to as well? What's that mix of? Like how does the business look in regards to where you're selling?
Okay, so more than half of our overall turnover is made from wholesale, because we are at Zalando, we are at Citadium, so very big shops. We have our own shop, so which is very local, which attracts the local community and also some tourists when they come to Paris. And it's not big, we have a limited stock, so it's not a big part of our revenue, but we like it because it's a beautiful shop that we rebuilt last year. So I really encourage you to go there. It's very cool. It allows us to do some events, etc. And then the rest of the turnover is made through our e-shop. Yeah,
cool. And then I suppose in regards to, obviously, as the business is growing, and I appreciate you haven't been there the entire time, so you haven't seen the whole thing happen, but I'd imagine, a streetwear brand started on the streets in subculture, so it's easier to build community there. How do you now look at building brand loyalty when you're now a much larger business? How do you think about loyalty and community now compared to how it maybe was years ago?
I think compared to years ago, people know better. And as a streetwear brand, it's very hard to keep the entertainment going. You have a kid now that's 14, 16. He has TikTok, Instagram. He knows everything. He knows some brand that I don't even know, that I'm not aware of, in Korea, in Japan, etc. You also have some very, very small brand, the so-called TikTok brands that operate and that do jobs. They make few thousand K, but it's a few thousand K that few thousand euros, sorry, that won't go to our shop. And we have so many competitors that now I think it's harder to be famous and to be the best brand around.
Yeah, nice. And so thinking about that, further, all the different platforms. You've mentioned TikTok, you mentioned Instagram, there's Google, there's all these different places, AI chat tools and things are now, you're able to show up. People are able to find brands on all these different platforms now. So how do you manage that as a digital marketer for a fashion brand, and where are you seeing success and where do you feel like there's something worth leaving in the background? So how are you thinking about establishing what is working and which platforms are not working for your business?
Okay, so regarding our very own experience, Meta works very well because we have a very, very good strategy in terms of contents. Our boss is very up to date to anything happening. So he knows about artistic direction. So it's a very good thing to put forward in our communication. You can see it on our website, on our newsletters, on our Meta, etc. And every time we do advertising, we have a good ROAS, etc. So the signals are very positive. We started TikTok last year. I'd say that it's more complicated to sell directly through TikTok, but we do good results as well. And we started to investigate around TikTok Shop, but we were not convinced it wasn't for our price point and our audience. So we put it aside, but we still have some influencers and some spark ads that brings traffic. So I think it's a good thing too. But we don't invest enough money to have a significant amount of orders yet, but we're working on that. Then Pinterest will be a very good thing. So we're working on that as well. It's at the very beginning. And I think the next step will be AI because we cannot compete in terms of SEO with our clients that are Zalando and Citadium. They're too big and too good at that. But I think GEO would be a good thing to invest on. And I think that's the future for the new consumers right now. For instance, I'm 37 and I don't have the reflex yet to go on ChatGPT to shop. I do that for home hardware, specific stuff that I don't know, like this lamp, this amount of watts, etc. I don't know, so I go to ChatGPT. But in terms of brands, I mostly discover them through Meta. So I think it's also a matter of generations. And I'm pretty sure like the new consumers coming, they will be on ChatGPT, etc. We need to be there as well.
Yeah, no, awesome. And just I suppose on now moving your role within Wasted, you're obviously within e-commerce and marketing. So, there's a juxtaposition there to a certain degree where you've got to think about data. So data is very important. And then you've got creativity. So data and creativity sometimes don't go hand in hand. And, something we talk about at Luca a lot as an e-commerce leader, we talk about death by 1,000 dashboards. We've got all these dashboards, all these reports that is available to us as e-commerce leaders, but then we also have the creative side that we need to think about as well. So how do you balance thinking about data and creativity?
Yeah, it's a balance specifically for a brand like us, where artistic direction leads the rest of the business. So we always need to have the good creative, the good contents. And sometimes we think some contents are commercially good, but we don't display them because they wouldn't serve the brand itself. So we'd rather drop them and keep our raw and authentic image as opposed to have them make a few K right now and then lose maybe a part of our community because we didn't have the right message. So that's mostly what we think. But on the other side, we have Clément in my team who does a great job at analyzing everything. So we have very accurate data through him. He tries not to get lost in thousands of dashboards. So he has a few relevant ones, and we work from there. We see the ranges that don't work well, the other that perform very good, and we try to have the right contents to display them and to put them forward on our website.
Yeah. And then, so for you in your role, what are the marketing metrics that actually matter the most to you?
First is the turnover.
Yeah.
We check that every day, every week, every month, every year. That's our main KPI. We also check the ROAS when it comes to advertising. That's mostly how we pilot the whole strategy. We check on the MER every month as well. So less than ROAS because the administration prefers this indicator. And for the past 12 months, let's say, we focus more on the margin that we used to, because, in e-commerce, you can easily get lost in the 1,000 apps you can have, the 1,000 services, every agency that comes to you. Every day I have some calls from new services that I'm not aware of. So we need to focus on that and see, okay, we don't have the margin for that. We cannot add a new service as long as we don't make more money. So it's a balance that we try to keep.
Yeah, nice. And then I suppose moving on to the discussion around AI further, AI is obviously rapidly changing the way that e-commerce brands operate, whether that is from content creation through to product discovery, through to finances. Like there's obviously lots of different ways that AI is transforming e-commerce businesses. But in regards to Wasted, how are you guys approaching AI today? What are you seeing as big helps? Where are areas you're not interested in yet?
So we don't use it for content, except in a very, very specific area. So to be totally transparent, we do some videos, like technical videos, where we show some clothes we have that are very technical with details. So we film them, and then we add a synthesis voice that has a proper English accent, to have the overlay on it. The reason is we don't have anyone that speaks English very as fluently to have this authenticity. As you can hear my accent, I wouldn't be able to do that. So we use AI for that. And then we use it more and more on the e-commerce aspects. So we have Claude that's plugged to our Shopify that can give us reports, etc. We use it for analysis, like we check our dashboard ourselves, but then we always have a counter view through Claude. Also, so as I said, we tried SEO as far as we could go, and then Geo will be the next thing that we want to see.
So is that the biggest opportunity for Wasted in AI? Do you think that is in Geo?
I think so, yeah. I believe it. And I know that there are some area where we wouldn't go with AI yet. For instance, the e-com shootings. I think you can do some great things with AI now. Sometimes I cannot even spot the difference. But our silhouette is so specific with very, very detailed fits that I think we cannot do it. And I think it's good for a brand such as, I don't know, Zara, etc. They can do that. We cannot, because the pants are put that way, the shirt as well. So it wouldn't work for us. But it would be such a, I don't know, like a gain of time, considerable gain of time to do it, but we'd rather not go there. And also for the PDP, it's pretty convenient. We use it more and more to do the product descriptions, because it's something that you can do on your own, but we have hundreds of articles, so it can be a bit long, and the added value is not always relevant to me to do it with a human brain. So I think you need a human brain to take everything out and to put some very specific prompts. But after that, I think AI can do the whole thing.
Yeah, cool. And how are you guys thinking about like AI shopping assistants? So like actually agentic shopping within some of the ChatGPT, Claude and things like that. Are you even thinking about it yet? Are you doing anything about it, or are you just sort of riding that out right now?
We have not talked about it yet, but we always looking at things that are happening, and I know that agentic e-commerce is the very next thing to that will grow and will be very important in the upcoming month. So I think it's something we should dive in. And I know it will work for a part of our community, a part of our consumers, but not all of it. So that's why we should not only focus on that.
Yeah.
Because as I said earlier, people discover us through our communities, through our communication, and of course, advertising.
No, I think it's an important aspect of it as well. I think expecting, I think more and more with all this technology is available to us, and AI, if you read the media, believe the media, they would say that AI is going to replace humans altogether. I think the complete opposite. I think that there's going to be more of a need for that human interaction and connection than ever before, because we don't just want to be chatting to robots all the time. So I think it is really important, especially for a brand like Wasted, to ensure you do still have that community feel, because that is what's going to continue the authenticity of the brand. I think where we see AI is just helping operators, leaders, marketers in streamlining how they are running their business rather than it taking over the shopping buying journey. So I think you're clearly thinking about it in the right way as well.
But I think I forgot to mention that we also use it for after sales service. We have a chatbot. It's not optimized yet. It's in our roadmap to make it better. I think you can gain a huge amount of time, because that's where I come from. As I said earlier, I worked for 5 years at Bot Nation, which is an AI platform. So I think it will be a considerable gain of time for our dedicated person that does that every day. And he will focus more on stocks, logistics, supply chain, etc. So I think it will be a very good thing to upgrade his job as well. And I really don't believe in the fact that it could totally replace my e-commerce manager, my after-sale person, etc. I believe it can really improve their job, but we never do what they do. And every day I'm sent some videos about that, saying, "Oh, we don't need the advertising agency. You don't need the SEO agency." But in the end, I'm like, okay, I can do the audit myself. I can have a few ideas and a few insights through Claude, and they are very accurate sometimes. But that will never replace someone that actually with me on the course, and that can tell me, regarding your artistic direction, I really don't advise you to go there. You should more do that, etc.
Yeah. Awesome. No, it's great to hear your thoughts on it. And we're now going to move more to some like rapid fire questions. So just like quick questions, quick response, first thing that comes into your head. So number one would be, what, in your opinion, what is one marketing trend that is overhyped or overrated?
Oh, wow. I have no clue, just like that. A marketing trend. I mean, maybe, I don't know if that answers the question, but we look closely at TikTok, etc. When I see the trends themselves, I don't see the point in being a brand and follow the trends, because after 2 years, you can see it's very dated. Like, I don't know, if I go back in the day, you have the Ice Bucket Challenge in 2012. And now I think it's so lame, whereas at the time, every brand was doing that. So imagine like the 6-7 thing that's been happening maybe last year. Imagine we do it next year. People will be like,
what's this? So I'm not sure you should follow the trends like that. You should follow your artistic direction.
Nice. Yeah, no, I completely agree. And then on the flip side of that, what is one like e-commerce or marketing trend that's underrated?
Underrated, I think. I think Pinterest will be a platform that's a bit underrated because I checked at the numbers yesterday. There's 500 million people on it, which is nothing compared to Meta, but it's very engaged people. You have 60% of female shoppers. And I think that's a good way to touch a new audience because we have so much trouble to address to women. Where we have the right products for them, but it's a problem of communication, etc. So I think Pinterest will be a good way to reach out to them and talk to them. And also people do generic research, just like black hoodie. And we have tons of black hoodies, but that doesn't work through SEO. So that would work through Pinterest. So that's why we're really closely looking at it right now.
Cool, nice. And then I know you've already sort of spoke about it, but if you were just to pick one metric to pay the most attention to, aside from revenue or turnover, what would be the one marketing metric to pay most attention to?
I think the margin is the most important because I see some brands, I'm sure that I know that make less money than us, but maybe they don't have the wholesale, etc. So their margins are very high and they can invest more on some stuff we cannot afford, for instance. So I think looking at the margins is the very first thing to do as a beginning brand or a mature brand.
Cool. And then next one would be, what is the one, or you probably use more than one, but what's the one AI tool that you use the most?
Definitely it's Claude. As I said, we're very beginning with it. But my colleague, he's an e-commerce manager, so he's more like a business person, very analytics, etc. He's not a developer, and he managed to do some, quick buttons, sticky button, etc. to the PDP. That's a bit game changer somehow, because otherwise we would have paid a developer for a few days maybe, or we should have taken an extra plugin that will slow the website, and we just did it in a day by some prompts. And I think it's a good thing to know because it's now available to everyone and it's not like a strange language to us anymore.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks very much for your time today, Cyprien. And final question, if I was to have you back on this podcast in 5 years' time, let's say, what would you see as being a success in 5 years? If you look back on the previous 5 years, what would you say? And what would need to happen for you to say the last 5 years has been really successful?
Well, that's a tough way through futuristic questions. Maybe the AI applied to supply chain, I'd say, because I don't know this area much because, again, we have someone that's in charge of it. But I'm pretty sure they can really improve what they do and being faster. Now, if you wait for a delivery for 3 days, you think it's a very long time, but imagine 5 years from now, 5 years ago, 3 days was fine. And now it was fine when it's not Amazon, but now we're like, okay, 3 days, it's a bit long. I need this shirt for my wedding and we're Wednesday, etc. So I think they can really improve that. And I think that will be maybe a big thing for e-commerce in the next 5 years.
Awesome. Nice. Well, before we go, would you mind just letting our listeners know where's the best place to find you and follow along in your journey and also the business?
Regarding business, I'm here in Wasted Paris, so I really encourage you to check what we do because we have a new collection that's coming on and that's very, very cool. The buyers also said so. We have a flagship store that's brand new. It existed for years, but now we just renovated it. It's very, very nice. The shop manager will welcome you as it is. If you come from me, just say, I come from Cyprien, I heard the podcast, and we'll be so happy to welcome you anyway. We have a new sofa that's very, very weird, and you'll be happy to see that. So I'm just teasing now, but you'll see it's pretty cool. So yeah, business-wise, you should just go to our Wasted Paris store. It's a nice area of Paris anyway.
Awesome. Nice one. Well, thanks very much for your time today, Cyprien. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for welcoming me. I hope it wasn't too messy because I'm not used to exercise. So thank you for trusting me.
Thank you. Perfect. Cheers, Cyprien.
See you soon. Bye.